Gout Gout, Australian sprint sensation, 18 years old, world's fastest teenager, but something happened last year, something that still haunts him. He's about to face the man who beat him, the man he couldn't catch. March 28, 2026, Melbourne, same track, same rival, same moment to prove something. 3 words changed everything for this teenage phenom. Let's find out what he said. Gout Gout was born on December 29, 2007. He is 18 years old. He is from Ipswich, Queensland, Australia. He is the Australian 200-meter record holder at 20.02 seconds. He is the fastest teenager in the world over 200 meters. He's one of the hottest names in global athletics. His rise has been meteoric. In December 2024, at age 16, he broke Peter Norman's Australian 200-meter record that had stood for 56 years. Peter Norman's time of 20.06 seconds was set at the 1968 Mexico City Olympics. Gout ran 20.04 at the Australian All-Schools Athletics Championship in Brisbane. The time made him the second fastest under-18 runner in history, behind only Ariane Knighton's 19.84. He was faster than Usain Bolt's age 16 best of 20.13. In 2025, Gout continued to lower his personal best. He ran 20.02 seconds at the Ostrava Golden Spike Meet in the Czech Republic in June. That time became his new Australian national record. He was breaking records. He was winning races. He was becoming a global sensation. But in March 2025, something unexpected happened. At the Maurie Plant Meet in Melbourne, Gout faced Lachlan Kennedy. Kennedy was the defending champion. Kennedy had beaten him before, and on March 29, 2025, Kennedy beat him again. Kennedy won in 20.26. Gout finished second in 20.30. The loss stung. The loss stayed with him. The 2025 Maurie Plant Meet was supposed to be Gout Gout's night. The event was a sold-out crowd of 10,000 fans at Melbourne's Lakeside Stadium. Television ratings were massive. The entire nation was watching. Gout Gout had become must-see television. His races drew crowds like no other Australian sprinter in years. But Lachlan Kennedy had other plans. Kennedy was a world indoor silver medalist over 60 meters. Kennedy had the experience. Kennedy had the technique. Kennedy came out of the blocks with explosive power and built a lead around the bend. By the time Gout Gout could launch his devastating closing speed, there was no track left. Kennedy held on. Kennedy won. Kennedy became the story. For Gout Gout, the loss was a rare experience. At 17 years old, he had been dominant. He had broken records. He had won races. But he had also learned something invaluable. He could lose. He could be beaten. There were runners out there faster than him on any given day. Kennedy had exposed a weakness. Kennedy had shown that Gout's closing speed, his greatest weapon, could not overcome a devastating start if the gap was large enough. The 2025 defeat became Gout Gout's motivation. It stayed with him through the rest of 2025 and into 2026. He trained harder. He worked on his start. He analyzed Kennedy's technique. He prepared for a rematch that everyone knew was coming. In March 2026, as the Maurie Plant Meet approached, Gout Gout spoke to the media about his upcoming rematch with Lachlan Kennedy. The race was scheduled for March 28, 2026, exactly 1 year after his defeat. The same track, the same rival, the same opportunity for redemption. When asked about facing Kennedy again, Gout Gout delivered 3 words that captured everything he was feeling, everything he had been holding in since that loss a year earlier. 3 words that would define the narrative of the rematch. I'm out for revenge. Those 3 words became the story. Not arrogance, not overconfidence, just raw desire. Just a teenager who had been beaten and wanted his moment back. Just an athlete who understood what was at stake. The words were simple, but they carried weight. They carried a year of training, a year of analysis, a year of thinking about what went wrong and how to make it right. It was a great meet last year and an awesome vibe down on the track, Gout said. I know it's going to be the same again this year. Lachie ran great last year, so for sure I'm out for revenge. The message was clear. Kennedy had had his moment. Kennedy had had his victory. Now it was Gout Gout's turn. Heading into the 2026 Maurie Plant Meet, Gout Gout had proven he was serious about improvement. In February 2026, he ran the 100 meters in 10.00 seconds at the Dane Bird Smith Shield Meet in Brisbane. That time made him the third fastest Australian man in history over 100 meters. He was building speed across multiple distances. He was becoming more complete. His 200-meter record of 20.02 remained the benchmark. No Australian had come close to challenging it. The time placed him among the fastest teenagers ever in the world. It placed him in conversations with Ariane Knighton and other all-time great junior sprinters. But records on paper do not win races. Races are won on the track, against real competitors, on real days. At 18 years old, Gout Gout had the potential to dominate sprinting for the next decade. He had the genetics. He had the coaching. He had the support system. He had the hunger. What he did not have was experience at the very highest level, racing against elite international competition on a consistent basis. Every race was a learning opportunity. Every defeat was a lesson. The 2025 loss to Kennedy had been that lesson. Kennedy had shown him that records and season bests do not guarantee victory. Execution matters. Technique matters. Handling pressure matters. Coming into 2026, Gout Gout was ready to execute. He was ready to handle pressure. He was ready for revenge. Lachlan Kennedy was 22 years old heading into March 2026. He was the defending Maurie Plant Meet champion. He had won the Peter Norman Memorial 200-meter in 2025. He was a world indoor silver medalist over 60 meters from the Nanjing World Indoor Championships. He was fast. He was proven. He was confident. Kennedy's personal best in the 200 meters was 20.26, the time he ran to beat Gout Gout in 2025. That performance placed him fifth on the Australian all-time list, behind Gout, Peter Norman, Dean Capobianco, and John Dinan. Kennedy had climbed into the elite tier of Australian sprinters with that one race. In 2026, Kennedy came into the Melbourne race fresh off a season-opening victory at the Hobart Track Classic, where he ran 20.43. He had then won the 100 meters at the Maurie Plant Meet in 10.17 seconds. He was double-dipping, racing both the 100 and 200. He was sharp. He was ready. He had already proven he could beat Gout Gout once. The question was whether he could do it again. Kennedy's biggest advantage was his experience. He was 4 years older than Gout Gout. He had competed internationally. He had stood on world championship stages. He knew how to handle pressure. He knew how to execute when the stakes were highest. That experience, more than anything else, would determine the outcome of the rematch. But the 2026 Maurie Plant Meet would not be just about Gout Gout and Lachlan Kennedy. A third runner would be in the race, Benjamin Richardson from Ireland. Richardson had a personal best of 19.99 seconds in the 200 meters, making him faster than both Gout and Kennedy on paper. He was born in Dublin, but raised in South Africa. He brought world-class speed to the Peter Norman Memorial 200-meter. The field was elite, 3 runners, all capable of breaking 20 seconds. 3 runners, all hungry for victory. The Maurie Plant Meet was the first of 12 World Athletics Continental Tour Gold Meets in 2026, sitting just below the Diamond League in status. It was a prestigious stage. It was the kind of race where reputations were made or lost. For Gout Gout, beating Kennedy and Richardson would be statement-making. It would prove he was not just a record holder with impressive marks, but a racer who could execute when it mattered. The stage would be set for March 28, 2026. The crowd would be sold out again, 10,000 strong. The stakes would be high. The rematch would be broadcast live on 7 and 7 Plus Sport in Australia. The entire track and field world would be watching. A year had passed since the last meeting. A year of training, analysis, and preparation. Gout Gout would line up with one intention: prove that his 20.02 national record marked the beginning of a dynasty, not a one-time performance. His words could be backed by performance. Could an 18-year-old phenom overcome a more experienced rival in a high-pressure situation? Could he execute his race plan and hold off Kennedy's devastating start? The only way to know would be to line up on March 28, to run the race, to see if those 3 words would mean something more than words spoken to a microphone.